Hi, this is Jill Schultz from the Carroll County Historical Society, and in this video I'd like to tell you about the Native Americans of Carroll County. We have no evidence of permanent Native American settlements living in Carroll County, but we have some evidence that they definitely passed through and spent some time in the land that is now known as Carroll County. This map of Maryland shows you where major, heavily populated Native tribes resided in Maryland. And here's the area of Carroll County, which you can see was occupied by the Susquehanna Tribe. The Susquehanna Tribe moved extensively into Pennsylvania, Delaware. They moved as far north as New York and as far south as Virginia and West Virginia. And they spoke the same, were part of the same language group as the Iroquois natives. This is a sketch of a Susquehannock that was done in 1608 by colonist John Smith. He described the Susquehannocks as being tall, muscular, and having a very deep voice. This is a colorized sketch done by another colonist named John White in the late 1500s. And no, folks, he does not have a tail. This is an animal tail that is he's wearing as decoration on part of his clothing. We believe, like other woodland tribes, the Susquehannock lived in villages, in longhouses, which housed several families at a time. This is a close-up version of a longhouse. And we know that they did an extensive amount of trading. Much of the time, their permanent villages were located on both sides of the Chesapeake Bay, and certainly spent their winter months living in their permanent villages on either side, the western or the eastern shore of the bay. But then occasionally they would take hunting parties or trading parties into the western regions of Maryland. And this map shows you some of those commonly known trade routes that the Susquehannocks and other natives used. Many of these trails led into Pennsylvania or into Delaware, where there was a lot of trade between the Swedish and the Dutch colonists and the Susquehannock natives. And we know a lot about the Susquehannock tribe thanks to a lot of documentation that Swedish colonists did about their interactions with the Susquehannocks and other natives as well. So what did the natives trade for? Well, certainly a very common trade product was tobacco. This is a roll of tobacco. Tobacco grows in large leaves. You dry those leaves, they become brown. You can roll those leaves up into another roll, and then when the colonist, or the native for that matter, wanted to smoke it, you just broke off bits from the roll and stuck it in your pipe for smoking. Native Americans wanted things like knives, beads, yarn, sometimes fabrics from the English colonists or the Swedish colonists. And the colonists, or the Europeans, they liked furs, animal pelts. They might trade for a rabbit pelt, super soft. They might trade for raccoon skin. This is a raccoon's tail. A fox pelt. This is a fox's tail. They may want some buckskin or deer pelts, or perhaps a blanket rug kind of thing. Here's the inside of the pelt. And they would definitely want to trade with the Native Americans for beaver pelts. This is the tail end. This is the head end of the beaver, minus legs. Beaver skin is super thick, or I should call it the beaver pelt, super thick, super soft. It feels very luxurious, and it tends to be water repellent, which was a good thing. They would make it into hats, furs, put multiple pelts together, coats, quite a luxury and in demand in Europe. Natives also like to trade wampum, and they made wampum from Quahog Clamshells. This is a Quahog clamshell. And you'll notice parts of this clamshell have purple color to them. It's another Quahog clamshell. And you can see some fine shading of purple in this shell as well. They would then carve these shells into beads and string the beads into wampum, which they could use much like money as a trade item. The darker the shell, the more beautiful the purple, the more valuable the bead or the shell. I'd like to invite you to watch the second video, which will discuss the stone artifacts that tell us about life of our Carroll County Native Americans. Thanks for watching.